So of course we have to get right back into it like we never left, right? We have to just get right back into it as if we never left. Um so that's part of being consistent. That's all part of that. Move my mic here a little bit and get everything situated. Not that I wasn't already situated before, but today we're going to be looking at some Gen Z. I mean, you can read the video title. I'm just giving you guys the credit here before I take a look at this video, making sure you guys see what it's called. But we're going to be watching this video together, reacting to it, giving our thoughts. That's what I'm here to do. You come on Nath's channel, you're coming to hear Nath's ideas and Nath's thoughts. You're not coming here. Let's just get into it.
I have my literal business marketing degree that put me in a cute $80,000 in debt. I've been applying to marketing jobs fucking for weeks now. And the pay cut is insane. I'm a almost 25-year-old, my birthday soon.
So, I'd just like to begin by saying I've never went for a marketing degree. Like I've never went and went $80,000 in debt for a marketing degree. But I think we've all spent money that didn't get us the expected outcome. I think we've all been there where we spent money that didn't get us the expected outcome, where when we look back, we could have really used that money for something great. We've pretty much all been there, you know. We can't sit here and be like, I'm special. You know what I mean? Because here I am. If remember when I said if everyone's special, then who's special and nobody's special? It's true.
25-year-old chick going against, corporate ass America, people with so much experience. All I got is my degree.
And I'd like to, just say, you have your business marketing degree, right? And I'm not, I'm not in control of your life, right? When I say this isn't me pulling strings on your ass saying, oh, it's going to happen whether you want it or not. I'm saying, hey, if you want your expected outcome, and this is what they're telling you, the market needs experience at this point. Sometimes your best bet is to take matters into your own hands. That's what I learned about achieving your dream and getting the dream outcome. Sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands. And we got drop shipping and all kinds of stuff. You can ship over paper clips from AliExpress for super cheap and then just market them and slap a different label on them over on Amazon. And then you can make a profit. You can sell it for more. All I'm saying is there's options, and you act like the only option there is applying at a job. That's not the only option.
People say, get your degree, but then they don't talk about how you need experience. The degree was the experience!
That's like saying, I have experience in science because I passed my science classes in high school. I mean, yeah, I've done some labs and stuff, but that doesn't mean all of a sudden I can be working in you still need experience. I kind of get where they're coming from. Granted, if you can't get the experience with them, sometimes you have to take the matters into your own hands. Because I kind of see that way too with the forklift jobs. You can't get the job unless you have the experience, and you can't get the experience unless you have the job. But truthfully, you could go buy a forklift and learn how to do it yourself, even though that's crazy. I mean, you really shouldn't have to buy a forklift to get the experience. I mean, some jobs should offer what am I trying to say? An entry level. Should offer an entry level.
anyone explain to me how I have 2 degrees? I have 2 degrees. Oh, and a certificate. I'm trying to apply for jobs right now, and the thing is that the only person I have responding to me is a man from a tech company saying, "Hey, you want to answer some customer service problems?" No offense, but I'm a little more qualified than to be sitting around answering your customer service calls.
What are your degrees for? You didn't really say that.
2 degrees. I have 2 degrees. Oh, and a certificate. I'm trying to apply for jobs right now, and the thing is that the only person I have responding to me is a man from a...
Okay, so this is oftentimes, just kind of how it is. Businesses don't need unnecessary work. Like, they're not going to have you. I don't know whether you are a major in graphic design, marketing, but if they already have someone marketing, they're not going to have just add a second person just because. And if the only slot they have open is that, responding to customer service, then that's just the only thing they really have. I mean, there's nothing they can really do about that.
From a tech
And that's why I say, don't expect to get the scraps from these business owners anymore. Sometimes you got to take the matters into your own hands.
company saying, "Hey, you want to answer some customer service problems?" No offense, but I'm a little more qualified than to be sitting around answering your customer service calls. Bart.
Then show it. If you're qualified, you don't even need to tell us, right? If you're qualified, you do not even need to tell us. You can show it with your actions, right?
Okay, I'm sorry, but Bart is the only one who's responding to me. What was this for again? Oh, I don't know.
So I'm currently applying for jobs. I graduated with a degree similar to a master's in public health. All of these employers are literally paying like $19 an hour. Really, how is anyone supposed to live in this economy when employers want 1 to 2 years of experience and they're not even willing to pay $20 an hour?
Okay, someone said we're experiencing some lag on the stream, so I'm just gonna end it and start it right back up again, right where we left off. You're not even gonna notice a thing. It's gonna be like we didn't even leave. So as soon as I set this up to do that, we can get back up and running. You turn off enable auto stop, and then
Prior to 1944, only the richest families sent their kids to college.
okay, so the next part of this is like kind of just talking about the problem and breaking down all the logistics behind it. But I think when you can't get the scraps from the business owner anymore, you can't get the nice job from the business owner, start the business, make the job yourself, and potentially that opens up so many avenues. Maybe not quite for you, but think about how many avenues that opens for other people. You got people who would come and work for you and make some money. Like, you get this drop shipping business where you just drop ship paper clips on Amazon. You get that off the ground, and you can have people come and work for you. You don't have to even do it anymore once you get to a certain point, and then you can still get into that job you wanted to do and then help them out. I think this is the world trying to tell us, like, here's the thing. Call me crazy, right? Call me crazy, but when the world gives me these hints, right? And I'm getting these hints, and I'm like, all right, I can't get into this job, I can't get into that job. I don't take it as, all right, yeah, I gotta fucking fight for this job. I gotta fight even harder. I gotta go bring awareness to it on social. Like, fuck the job. I'm creating my own job now. That's where it's at. You know what I mean? There's no more fighting for jobs. Create the job, at least so you can get the experience. Go as hard as you can. I mean, who knows? You might actually end up creating a super successful company. But if you're as qualified as you say you are, you'll at least be semi-successful. And that I can count on. That I can bet you. At least if you put your mind to it. And yeah. I don't... Let's watch some more Gen Z. Let's just look up Gen Z finance. Gen Z TikTok. I want to watch the TikToks. We can't just find like a Gen Z TikTok compilation complaining. Here it is.
Wix
Here's some.
gives you the power of AI to build the website you need. With full
I know I'm probably just being so dramatic and annoying, but this is my first job, like my first 9-to-5 job after college, and I'm in person, and I'm commuting in the city, and it takes me fucking forever to get there. There's no way I'm gonna be able to afford living in the city right now, so that's off the table. Like, fucking duh! If I was able to walk to work and it'd be...
Oh, dude, I'm right there with you. I hate driving in the city. I agree with you there. Anytime you're in Pittsburgh, Philly, I don't know, dude. It's just shit. The traffic's awful.
fine, but I'm not. So it literally takes me, like, I leave here, like, I get on the train at 7:30 and I don't get home till like 6:15 earliest, and then like I don't have time to do anything. I want to shower, eat my dinner, and go to sleep. I don't have time or energy to cook my dinner either. Like, I don't have energy to work out. Like, that's out the window. Like, I'm so upset.
Yeah, that's kind of opportunity cost there. I mean, you look at the trade-offs and you're like, is it worth it? Should I keep doing this? Not sure, dude. Not sure.
I want everybody to keep something very clear in mind as we head into the 2024 election year. When you start getting all of the unsolicited text messages, emails, actual mail, seeing all of these commercials of these career politicians worth billions of dollars trying to say, please donate to my re-election campaign. Donate to your own self. I'm out here trying to save $1.50 on toilet paper.
And what gets me the most is, like, everybody that would agree with her would act like they're on the opposite side of the aisle. This woman would treat me like I'm on the opposite side of the aisle. Like I'm not doing the same thing. Like I'm not also trying to save $1.50.
Guys, serious question right now. How are we supposed to live? I don't even want to talk about the gas prices right now. We already know that if you ask me to go out and it's not within walking distance, don't even ask me, bro. But have you guys tried to move or buy a house? Never mind co-signer. These guys want a urine sample from my nonna, for fuck's sakes. And you go and rent the place in Etobicoke, you know, the place that's listed as the city but is not the city.
Yeah, I find that interesting, though. If you ever ask an interviewer, like, similar questions to the ones they're asking you, you get some really funny responses. Like, they're not able to answer. Like, you're sitting there giving up all this info. It's an unfair exchange right off the bat.
Yeah, you go there and they're like, hey, bro, we're going to need $3,500 a month, a stool sample, a reference letter from every principal to every school you went with, a blood sample, oh, and no pets. Okay, it's not affordable to have kids, but we can't have any companionship in our lives. What the fuck is going on here? Don't even get me started on groceries, eh? I went out to go buy aged cheddar the other day, okay? And this thing is not that aged, okay? It's about as aged as yesterday's fucking dump. $21. It's either get this aged piece of cheddar or go see the new Batman. I took the cheese. I spend $200 a week on groceries and I eat like a diabetic cat training for the vegan Olympics, okay? I'm eating canned sardines and frozen blueberries. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, when you actually start really trying and care for your health, you eat a lot of salmon, or not salmon, you eat a lot of sardines, tuna. You'll eat a lot of chicken. If you got some money, you might be eating a lot of steak. I haven't been that lucky, but I've definitely been eating a lot of tuna. I'm probably gonna grab a can tonight and chow down. Lemon pepper. Yeah. It's not that good, but if you actually take yourself seriously, it's something that you gotta do in America.
I'm buying protein powder in 6-gallon drums. People come over, they go, bro, what are you feeding, a German Shepherd in here? What is that? You feeding a horse? I say, no, actually, I'm fasting till 2 p.m., then having a shake at lunch to keep me satiated till the dinner that I purchased that cost me $50.
Man, you know, I would love to just go to the grocery store again, like one time, without getting depressed. That would be freaking awesome. Just, you remember the days like when you were a kid and you could go to the grocery store and you didn't care about prices, and your mom or dad probably tell you, no, we can't afford it, but you thought they were just screwing with you. But really, they probably couldn't afford it, because even back then it was way cheaper, but it was still tough to afford everything. I just left the grocery store, and every time I'm in there now, man, I just get sad. I get depressed. Everything is overpriced. Even when I get cheaper options, it doesn't seem to matter. Stuff is crazy right now. I don't know how any of you guys are surviving, especially if you don't have like military commissaries to go to, and even they are overpriced in some things. But
yeah, so about how anybody's surviving, we're all really fighting. You know, I don't know if you realize it. I don't know if you could tell in like my World on Fire music video, but we're all really fighting. We're all like really fighting for every fucking inch that we have. So when you see somebody and they look like they're going a little bit above and beyond the set standard, they fought really fucking hard for that, dude.
I mean, what are you gonna do? I guess we'll just keep being depressed for the time being. Every time we go, we'll keep making our sacrifices.
Well, yes, sacrifices are consistent. You don't give up your you don't. Like, I sacrifice eating brownies every day so that I can be healthier. You don't give up that sacrifice. You stay consistent with it. Or if the sacrifice is like, I'm going to cut down to like a piece of a brownie every night, and that's all I'm allowed to have, you got to stick to that sacrifice. I mean, you got to stay consistent with it for it to hold any meaning. That's just my opinion on it.
This is to the corporate overlords, and man, are they a greedy bunch. They are so greedy.
Total is going to be $12.99.
Oh no, I just want the single water, not the bundle.
It's $12.99 for the single.
Are you sure? That's really expensive for one water.
Inflation.
Great. Well, I'll take this toilet paper too.
Total is now going to be $56.75.
$56.75? That can't be right.
Actually, you know what? You're right. That's not right.
That's what I thought.
It's $300.
What?
Boy, it was $56.75, but because of it.
This is just like a funny. This is just a funny.
And these chips altogether were $210. One bag. And these chips altogether were $210. So the thing with Canada, and why I cannot wait to leave this country, and why so many people are leaving this country, is because, let's start with a little bit of history. Canada has always been known as peacekeepers, and this kind of translates into, Mama, all of this was $210. I know what you mean.
But that's the funny thing. Like, I have no right to look through her grocery bag, right? But have you ever looked at some of the, like, these people complain about high grocery prices. Have you ever looked in their grocery cart? They got fucking carbs galore. You know, they got useless ass fucking just carbs, bro. Mad carbs and like pointless shit. Like, I'm sorry, dude, but if you just went in there, bought your eggs, bought your milk, bought your fucking butter, bought your fucking shit that you need, your grocery bill ain't gonna be $200. And even if you're feeding like 2, maybe 3 people, it should be like no more than 180. Like I've seen it. I've seen it, bro. I can't sit here and let you fuckers, like, you guys be wanting useless shit. No wonder the economy's telling you, hey, no, dude. The economy's telling you not to put these fucking carbs in your body, bro. When the economy's starting to tell you not to put the carbs in your body,
I know, I barely got anything. Okay, so I'm gonna continue making this video. So, Canada traditionally known as peacekeepers, but the reality is this type of mentality goes within the community as well, where people are docile and they believe everything the government says and they just comply. So as inflation gets higher, as only things get worse, people are just like,
I need to move these headphones. Kind of hurt.
If you're wondering why so many people are leaving this country, it's the insane grocery prices. Our jobs do not mimic the lifestyle or what we are trying to live, and I don't think that anyone should I don't think anyone should sacrifice their well-being to be able to buy groceries. Yes, I bought stuff from a more expensive place called Healthy Planet, so it is going to be more expensive, but it still should not be $210. And I don't think any human should have to sacrifice putting chemicals and shit onto their body and into their body just so they can be able to make ends meet, just so they can be able to eat and live. We should this is modern day slavery, guys. Modern day slavery. We go to work, we work insane amount of hours, and
I mean, this goes right back to what I was saying. I mean, stop expecting the crumbs to fall down from people's hands and fall. Like, play the offense and don't fight for crumbs. Play the offense. Be the source. Be the source of the motherfucking food if you fucking have to. I don't know what you guys need at this point. But it's like, if you're not living the life that you want to live, you have no one to blame but your goddamn self.
And our paychecks don't even meet the healthy life.
Look, dude, my budget was zero for that my budget was zero for that World on Fire video.
Lifestyle we want. So many people have to go consume things that are making them sick and things that are going to make them sick in the future. That's my event for the day. So if you want to leave Canada, this is your sign. Do it. I lied. It was 213. Crazy times we're living in.
This British Columbia customer service?
Yes, it is.
It's too expensive to live there. I don't want to live there anymore. I'm going to move out. Just letting you know.
You want to move somewhere cheaper? Where are you going to go? Hey, Ontario. Hey, what's happening, BC? This guy wants to live somewhere cheaper in Canada. Let's call Alberta. Yeah, let's call him. Hey, Alberta. Yeah! This guy wants to live somewhere cheap. Where are y'all gonna live? Saskatchewan? Did somebody say Saskatchewan? Ugh. Oh, man. Ugh. Get out of here.
I oftentimes find that for Canada, and take this how you want to, maybe it motivates you to fight harder. I think it's too late to come back for y'all. I think y'all let it go too far and didn't fight hard enough. You guys didn't stand up enough. And it's sad because I know a few Canadians, but yeah, I think Canada, it's too late for y'all.
Are you bunny huggers? Ugh.
Has anyone noticed that it's literally becoming impossible to live a normal life because of the inflation that's going on? Literally, our rent payment used to be $800. 2 bedroom, 2 full bath. $1,400. $1,400 is what we pay now. Used to be $800. just a few years ago, and now it's $1,400. Go figure. My auto insurance, gone up 28%. Again, go figure. Inflation. Don't let me forget to mention electric bill, $300. For what? For what? It's ridiculous.
Look, I hate to break it to you, but the prices that you see, unless like you get different ownership of your landowner or your landlord, unless you get a different landlord, unless you somehow get different ownership, that price is going to remain the same, dude, or it's going to go up even higher. That's just the inevitable. Sometimes you get really lucky and you have a landlord who is just incredible. I mean, super blessed, you know what I mean? I happen to be in those shoes, but I'm not dissing you by any means. I want you to realize what you have to look forward to. I mean, I don't want you to be confused. I don't want you to be surprised. There's no reason to be surprised.
It's crazy. Now the icing on the cake, I feel like I go to the grocery store. Okay, I go to Kroger. I feel like I go in there with $100 and I come out with a gallon of milk and 2 pieces of toast. And not even the good pieces of toast. You know.
In 2024, do you ever stop to think about the fact that we are being preyed upon by a parasitic corporate class that keeps raising the prices arbitrarily on goods we need to buy?
That is true. We are being preyed upon by a parasitic corporate class. And it's probably not the way you think. It's usually when you go into your job. It's usually when you start, going above and beyond. That's when they become a parasite. You're no longer getting the mere fruits of your labor. You're getting the stems of the fruits of your labor you do for them.
I like eggs and bread. In fact, everything on our grocery list, past the point of inflation, as we keep learning from juries and court documents and bombshell reports and earnings calls by CEOs to their shareholders where they declare record profits. Meanwhile, these same corporations, despite said record profits, don't have the money to raise their employees' paychecks and in fact need to lay off dozens, hundreds, thousands of employees because there is no steeper business cost than human life. So the wealth gap keeps climbing as fewer and
Yeah, so this is just all pointing towards, CEOs can't even afford another human's life, right? That's what I'm hearing. CEOs can no longer afford humans' lives. You can no longer afford your own life trying to depend on somebody else. So, I take all these, conditions, these prerequisites, and my solution remains the same. I'm like, yeah, sometimes you got to take matters into your own hands and start your own business.
fewer people are able to maintain savings accounts, and we're all asked by politicians to anticipate retiring at the age of 70, 75, 80, as the middle class entirely evaporates, and we anticipate the next few years.
Yeah, the middle class is supposed to evaporate. That's supposed to happen. When things are working, when the American system works as it should, there's only two classes. There's the rich and the richer, the wealthy and the wealthier. There's no, you don't get it.
The emergence of the world's first trillionaire. All the while, a climate crisis is...
Yeah, that really means nothing. That's the same as the world's first millionaire back in 1920s. I mean, that's about the same amount of worth. It's just, It's just inflated. It's not like they can accomplish anything wildly different.
Is no longer looming at our doorsteps, but is here, burning and flooding its way into our lives. A crisis not primarily driven by individuals and our consumption of plastic straws or trips to the gas pump, but by these same corporate profiteers driving the price up of everything from eggs to streaming services, for whom the consumer is no longer you and me at the checkout counter, but the shareholder, who buys the more the line goes up. Rising prices, rising temperatures, rising retirement age.
Alright, just gotta pay for my
So what are we going to do in 2020? I just want to know, what's the plan here for... Well, I have a plan, but what's the plan here for 2025 when... I just want to make sure everybody's good, man. I just want to make sure everybody's good. When our dollar is worth, you know, exactly what we wanted it to be worth back in 2020. We finally get what we wanted our dollar to be worth back in 2020. Trump's in office. He makes our dollar worth so much. And our dollar's worth so fucking much that there's no more shit on the Walmart shelves for anyone to buy. What happens then?
And then I'm out of here. Jesus Christ! Hey, what seems to be the problem, sir? Yeah, I think your machine's broken. It's saying my groceries are $400. Yeah, no, that'd be correct, sir. So you're gonna fix this or what? No, sir. Due to inflation, we had to raise the prices of literally everything just to keep our doors open. Like of what? Well, milk and eggs are $40. What? Each. Like I said, what? I also noticed you got healthy food, which is way more expensive than unhealthy processed food for some reason. Boom, we're already at $300. What the? And then, of course, we gotta tack on all the fees. What? You guys have fees now? This is 2024. We have fees, sir. So first there's the shipping and handling fee. What? But I'm the one that drove here to pick it up. No, that's just for simply putting it on the goddamn shelf. Then we got the shopping fee, the shopping cart fee, the shopping while using a shopping cart fee, a around an aisle 5 fee. Around an aisle 5 fee? Yeah, you're spending a lot of time down there. I don't know what the you're doing. I couldn't find the bread. Well, you should probably find a second job because I'm still not finished yet. Oh my god. Now, did you ask one of our employees for help earlier? Yeah. Did you know that we charge for that? Could you? I was meaning to ask you guys earlier if you could charge more for that. Of course we can, sir. Now go ahead and insert your card and tip your checkout machine whenever you're ready. What? Why would I tip a machine if I did all the work? Machines work hard too, sir. What? Okay, fine. I'll just put 0 then. No problem here. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could direct your attention to the self-checkout line, we have a poor piece of shit. I repeat, we have a poor piece of shit in the self-checkout line. I'm going to McDonald's.
Hi, can I get a G&T, please?
So that one was pretty funny. I mean, he kind of exaggerated the shit out of it in a way that it was actually funny. Yeah.
Sure. Here you go, ma'am.
I heard that pretty girls don't have to pay.
Yep. Wait.
Oh, you're giving me your number.
Here's the bill, ma'am.
Yep. 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 You accept me with.
And this is the point where you regret all your life decisions. You're like, was I even right coming here? Should I even have left the house today? You know what? Where did I go wrong? Did I go wrong when I put this gray dress on, when I straightened my hair? Where did I go wrong here? And you start to wonder. You look at that price tag and you wonder where the fuck you went wrong. And a majority of people would be able to point out like the most ironic thing as the thing they went wrong. They'd be like, it's that. And I'm like if I'm in those shoes, I'm like, I went wrong when I decided to go out to eat. That's where I went wrong. I mean, or when I decided to go out to drink. These prices are outrageous. That's facts.
Hey, love?
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could change out some ones for larger bills.
That's a lot of singles. What'd you do? Pick up a shift at dollar pole?
That's $1.25 pull.
Okay.
What does your video sound like? Go to artlist.io and get the best music and sound effects for your video.
You're making $20 an hour to work at a fast food restaurant, all right? Is that six figures? Are you making...
No, Jesse, it's actually $40,000. And after...
Holy shit. You guys are making 40,000. Dude, I don't get why you're bitching. Where are you living? And what's the price of living?
Stretch for health insurance, car payment, car insurance, car maintenance, gas, cell phone, personal care, maybe child care, 401k, savings, miscellaneous, the list goes on. But we're talking about $20 for a fast food worker. Why?
No. I mean, there's no reason no, they're not worth 24 an hour. You guys flip burgers.
Well, as of May 1st, 2024, ZipRecruiter said the entry-level college grads in the United States are making $23 an hour. So let's run the numbers for them. Their take-home pay would be $31.35 minus $17.13 for rent, $200 for utilities, $400 for groceries, and...
I think everybody just needs to lower their fucking wants. I think everybody just, like, when I look around and think about it, I'm like, dude, I've lowered my wants to no avail. At this point, the only things that I do or enjoy are the things that I absolutely necessary. So when I see $400 in groceries, and you could be saving an extra, like, at least $150. I'm not sure where you live, but at least $150. It's bullshit. It's I know you fuckers are lazy. You want to point the fingers at other people.
And because they went to college, the average loan payment for a bachelor's degree is about $512. So a college graduate making $23 an hour in 2024 in this country is left with $310 to do for health insurance, car, and everything else that I listed. So for people like Jesse, for the politicians, for the celebrities, for the elite.
Sorry if you hear some vehicles driving by in the background. We got some people who actually are doing important shit. They're hauling important shit. Whether they're hauling, lawnmowers to mow people's lawns, or they're hauling people's boxes to move from a house to another house to maybe help save some cost of living. That's the type of stuff they're doing. So if you hear some vehicles in the background, I apologize. That's definitely what they're all doing.
It's for the top 1% who are out of touch with everyday Americans.
By the way, I don't actually believe that. I'm just trying to be nice and respectful.
Americans, and especially our youth, $20 an hour is not $100,000. In fact, $20 an hour, people can barely survive in 2024.
Hi guys, welcome back to G's African Perspective. Thank you for stopping by. Okay, so we know that by all means, most people, like, reason why most times people go to work is actually to get their bills paid, to get the money, because that's the main thing. You need to get that back, okay? But at the same time, the reason why we're working is actually because of that. But those jobs some of us do have can be very frustrating for us. It can make us feel very sick. We might hate it so much that we just want to vent the frustration out and just let it out, because you can be so annoyed with it, either by different treatments that you might get at work, some of the things that they might be doing, and so this is just a video on that, on people just giving their experiences with work. Some of the jobs that will work you so badly are the ones that will pay you so little, and it will not even be enough to even try to make you smile, because at the end of the day, when you just get that check, maybe we've already spent it before it even arrived, or you spent it immediately. But before we get right into this video, please make sure you click the like button. It really helps.
What you guys need to understand is you guys were big, you guys were big on taxing the rich. Well, you guys got what you wanted, right? We're taxing the ever-living fuck out of, we have some of the highest taxes we've ever had for the rich. Because they're getting taxed on pretty much everything. And you find that all the prices of everything go up. And you know what goes down? The workers' value. They can't afford to pay their workers because of all this tax. And what you find is we're all connected. When you do something that you feel like benefits you and then it hurts you, it's not just hurting you. It hurts everybody, and you look around and it hurts everybody. And at least be one to recognize that, at least be grown enough to recognize that.
Also the algorithm, and I appreciate that so much. And subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video. Let's get right into it.
It's like, bro, once you really sit down and think about it, everything in this motherfucker is designed for motherfuckers to fail. Like, I'm sitting here waiting to get my truck loaded so I can start my fucking day.
Your truck loaded, yeah. So maybe not a tractor trailer, but I've definitely been in a FedEx and UPS truck. And yeah, dude, if you're working for the man, it's set up to fail. It's set up so that you get just enough to get back and forth and be a slave. They give you just enough, and they want to give you kind of like you give to your pet dog. They want to give you a few toys on the side too. Not just your food and water. They want to give you your toys too. So your fucking bone. They give you they throw you a few $100s over the rent and the living. Just enough to keep you coming back. That's all they give you. If you want anything more, as I've said the last 30 times I paused the video, take matters into your own hands.
For the company that barely pays me enough to, keep my life together slightly. And I can't just abruptly leave this motherfucker because where else?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, well, I thought the same thing. Where else am I going to go? I thought the same thing.
I'm going to get the money from? Like, I truly believe that I'm talented enough to, make something happen and make something shake in like maybe 6 months to a year from now. However, where is that initial funding going to come from? See what I'm saying? Food is bad.
I made the world on fire video with $0. $0, my friends.
For you, it's highly chemicalized, highly addictive, highly sugarized, and highly everything bad for you arise.
True.
And if you look up any health article, it tells you that you can't eat any of the shit that you eat on a daily fucking basis. But 9 times out of 10, that's either all you can afford or that's all that's available. Hospital bills is
some of the stuff is actually false. Some of the stuff is trying to get people to not be healthy, right? Like some of that stuff about eggs being bad, they say it raises your cholesterol. It raises a certain type of cholesterol, and it's actually good for you because of the vitamins that are next to it. It's one of those things that in the context that it is in the egg, it's actually good for you. It's healthy.
Scam. Insurance is a fucking scam. Rent is a scam. Mortgages are scams. Just living in general is a fucking scam.
Well, yeah. I agree with you. Insurance is a scam. Nobody's insuring anything for me. You know what I mean? I'm the only one insuring stuff for me at the end of the day. And I think I've come to realize that. Like, no one's keeping my car safe. Like, my car insurance company wasn't outside to save my old blue car. They weren't outside on the side of the street to come and save it. So, it is bullshit, and they are all scams. They're not really doing the full thing that what they promised to do, and that's final. But at the same time, it's like, what are you gonna do? We've all fucking spent money that we realize we're not getting the expected outcome. And that's why we take matters into our own hands. Now we say, all right, I'm not going to park in that spot anymore. All right, I'm going to start stopping behind these white lines. If I realize my insurance isn't like saving my car, I start to govern myself.
The majority of ways to make enough money really fast are very unethical and highly illegal. Yet the people who call it illegal are the ones who do it the fucking most. That's the craziest fucking part. You gotta hope your car doesn't fucking break down, because if it does, A mechanic's gonna hold the shit for months because he or she is backed up forever. And it's like, okay, you got my car. How the fuck am I supposed to get to and from? They tell you to save and invest and all this shit, but it's like you taking that investment as a risk. Now, you can't win life without taking a risk. However, if the shit don't work out, you're fucked. A lot of people stay up late as a bitch knowing they got to be to work tomorrow early as hell in the morning only because their job took away the majority of their day, and the only way for them to feel some type of...
Yeah, so this was something I heard a lot of people struggle with. And then the one thing they can tell you, though, is they get off of work and they go do something with a buddy, but they go and act like they get no fucking time, bro.
Of control over their life is to stay up past the point in which they know they need to go to sleep to get a productive day the next day. I can't remember exactly what that phrase is called, but it's a real thing. And then
no, it might be a real thing, but if you're getting off, let's say you go 9 to 5, right? You get off at 5. You still have, to wake up the next day at, say, 7 a.m., you still have till 11 p.m., which 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. is about 6 hours. You have like 6 hours to spend with people a day, and that's not enough. Like,
then on top of that same subject, most people who do that, they stay up late.
I don't want any more than 3 hours with another motherfucker, man. I'm like, give me my space, dog.
Because they don't want to go to work the next fucking day. This shit is a fucking scam, bro. And after all of this bullshit, you still got to get up and produce something. Whether you're man or woman, you still have to get up and produce something. Because if you do nothing, you're pretty much just going to be on the street. And it's like, knowing all that shit, bro, sometimes that shit gets to you, man. Sometimes it gets to you, but I can tell you this. Even though all of this bullshit is a real thing, and yeah, it does get to me too, I refuse to let this shit bring me down. I refuse. Because I know deep inside my fucking head, and it's more so on the forefront now. It used to be deep, but now it's like right up in here. I know for a fact that one of these days, none of this shit is going to matter, because I'm going to be in such a great position in my life that I'm going to be able to look back and be like, damn, I went through all this bullshit and struggle that the world just threw at me, and I came out on top. That may sound cartoonish, that may sound far-fetched, that may sound all kind of whatever the fuck you can think of.
It doesn't sound far-fetched. That's how building experience works. You get thrown challenges, you get thrown problems, and then you learn how to solve those problems. But the thing is, if your only motivation, wait for the vehicle to pass by, if your only motivation, your only, willingness to problem solve, if you can only be willing to problem solve because you have money, or because you're earning money, or because, you're getting a paycheck every week, because of your job or your title, and that's the only reason you feel like you can problem solve, you're giving the credit outwards. You're not looking inwards for answers. You might be looking inwards for answers, but you're giving the credit to everybody else. And I had to learn that the hard way, dude. I had to learn that the hard way. If you can't problem solve on your own, you're giving the credit to other people, and you're depending, you need these other people next to you to problem solve, but it's false.
However, that's the only thing that keeps me fucking going. That is the only driving force in my life right now. It's not to be the best. It's not to be the greatest. It's not to be this, that. It is to get to the top of the fucking mountain through my own efforts, and then show people that it's possible. Right? Yeah. That's the only thing that's keeping me going right now.
That should be everybody's.
You got to find something to keep you going in this fucking crazy ass world we live in, bro.
Too, right?
You got to find something.
Can I just talk about how much I hate my frickin' job? It's 11:30 p.m. and I just got home from the gym. And not to mention, I still need to cook, eat, and shower after this, so I won't even be in bed until 1 a.m. I literally work from 8:30 a.m. to 8...
Alright, we're going to take a small commercial break. It's not even going to be a commercial. It's just going to be my little thing here. But we're going to take a small break. We'll be right back. Alright, we're right back, like we never left, of course.
8:30 p.m., 5 days a week, and sometimes on the weekends too. And not to mention, I'm barely getting paid anything for the hours that I'm putting in. It's crazy to think that if my parents weren't still helping me with my rent, I would literally be living paycheck to paycheck. And that's insane, dude. That's insane. And I literally still have 2 more months of this busy season. I've been working 60-hour weeks and I feel like I'm just going fucking insane because I have no time for...
This is the magic, right? When you can learn to, you're like, all right, this is what's going on around me, and I notice it. I see what's going on around me. Now, how do I react to it, right? That's the ultimate test, right? For me, it's like, all right, clearly people are just, trying to fucking convince me that I'm not shit, and I'm sitting here producing great results in my music. Like, I'm not buying it. The thing is, when you realize what's going on, you can better deal with it. You can better manage it, especially when you're expecting it, right?
For anything else. My life lately is literally just wake up, work, eat at my desk, work again, and then gym, and then eat, and then sleep, and then repeat that over for like 5 days straight. And I'm going insane, bro. And I need a change in career so bad. So if any of you can help me out, I would be super grateful. I have a business degree and I graduated from UCI. I have president's lists on my transcript. Please just help me get out of this job. If you can suggest anything.
Drop ship on Amazon and get your business experience, get your business marketing experience, and then get into the job that you actually want.
Or if you can get me a referral to one of the companies that you're working at, I would be extremely grateful because I have no time for anything else right now. And I just feel like I'm going crazy. So
you can just apply for an LLC online. You don't even have to leave your house. And you can do the same with the drop shipping fucking paper clips. You have to leave your fucking house. Everybody needs paper clips, So if you're offering a good price on them paper clips, you're bound to get some buyers on Amazon drop shipping them. AliExpress, dude. I'm handing out the game for free.
And working class in this country are getting so royally boned, and I don't even think that most people know how bad it really is. So we all know about how expensive it is to live, housing, groceries, all of that. So my husband and I were sitting down and we were talking about just our finances and our goals and what we were planning to do for the rest of the year, and he had talked about wanting to ask for a raise. Now, he's really good at what he does. He's the fastest one. It's actually a running joke on site that he's in it for the attaboys. So we were chatting about how much, he would ask for in a raise, what he would realistically be able to get, and all of that. And I was like, well, let's try to do some math. And here's where it gets super frustrating. And for the sake of the video, I'm just using a base number, although ours isn't too far off. But if you look here, from March of 2023 to March of 2024, $25 an hour would be akin to $25.87 an hour. And it doesn't feel like that big of a deal until you realize that that's 3.5%. After talking about that, he had said, you know, there's no way that they would give a 3.5% raise, that's definitely not going to happen. And it just got me to thinking that realistically, every single day he goes to work, he's actually losing money, and getting a raise 3.5% would simply break us.
You finally realized that you know, economically this isn't an option, right? Getting the job, because sure, you can get one job, maybe in a few months you might be able to get two. We can't rely, I'm going to say this for I feel like the 30th time, we can't keep relying on the scraps from others. You just got to be the source. Just start being the source. Learn how to be the creator.
Even with the rate of inflation. And if he couldn't get 3.5%, then we're literally losing money. And when the government and the Fed comes out and they say that inflation is getting better and that wages are going up, they're clearly not seeing that at least 33% of people are not seeing that happen. And I guess that whole conversation just became extremely demoralizing, knowing that realistically he was not going to be able to get a raise to even break us even on inflation. And then when you add the fact that you've got corporations making record profits and charging just insane.
And that's another thing too. You'll have people who, when you quit your job and you actually start working towards something, they're like, "Why'd you quit? You know, you're not making any money yet. You're not making any money." They won't even add yet, because they don't even acknowledge your power. They think that they can just take it whenever they want, but that's not how power works. But anyways, besides the point, they'll sit there and say how you're not making any money. But it's like, you were already losing money doing the job. Like, yeah, you had a few dollars in your pocket, and it kept going down. Every year you had less and less money in your pocket. So what am I trying to say here? When you quit the job and you're not making any money, you're headed the same. It's the same end place that you were going to be doing the job. You were still going to end up in the same fucking spot, broke, unable to pay your bills, etc., etc. You're going to end up in the same spot. So to just be ahead of the curve and be like, "Hey, I'm going to start my business. I'm going to take a risk. I don't have shit. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it off the way. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it." And you take a risk. Like, this is what the world needs right now. This is the type, like, this is what the economy's telling us. Not what you know, people want to hear or what people want to believe.
Amounts of money, like, it's even worse than that. And then it kind of just makes you think, like, is having a job a good, sound financial investment? Because if an investor was investing any of their time or money into something and they were not receiving some level of return, they would not be doing that thing. And breaking even or making less is not a sound financial decision. And look, I can hear you guys in the comments already, like, "Oh, just go get a different job." Okay, you know, let's say he gets a job making $100,000 a year. It doesn't matter what that number is. It's still going to be outpaced. Like,
I think what we're finding out is these people are getting very good with money. They're getting too smart with money, too smart for the actual economy, and they're realizing they're just realizing this isn't viable long term. And they're going to start waking up. They're going to start waking up. And
like, if inflation and the cost of living continues to go up, we're still going to make less money.
Some of these people are
every single month, effectively, short of something radical changing. So it doesn't matter if you're poor or rich or somewhere in between, your money is just completely devalued. So every single day you get up, put your pants on, and go to work, you're making less for it. And if you've made it to this part of the video, this is where I say, like, these are the things that our government need to be held accountable for. These are the things that industry need to be held accountable for. When we're talking about elections coming up, when we're talking about voting for me because of XYZ, This is the kind of stuff that this is the plight of the working class, of having to put your pants on and go to work knowing that it is not a good financial decision.
Well, and that's another thing too. You get your taxes taken out and you know you're funding, like, you know you're funding a criminal organization, right? Like, when you get your tax, like, do you sit there and you get your Fed? You're like, oh, this is my federal taxes. Do you sit back and think, I just funded a criminal organization? That feels pretty good. That feels pretty good. Whereas I get someone over here in the studio, right? Throw the headphones on them. We record their song. We get them out. They slide me, say $100, $120. I funded no criminal organization. In that hypothetical scenario, I did not fund a criminal organization. That's all I'm going to say. And if you want to know where the source of all these problems are, I would take a look at the KGB. I would listen to some of these KGB officers.
Well, you spoke several times before about ideological subversion. That is a phrase that...
I'm about to put the facts right in front of you. I guarantee you 99% of you sheeple will deny it. You'll deny it. You'll say, Ben, get the fuck out of here.
I'm afraid some Americans don't fully understand. When the Soviets used the phrase ideological subversion, what do they mean by it?
Ideological subversion is the process which is legitimate, overt, and open. You can see it with your own eyes. All you have to do, all American mass media has to do, is to unplug their bananas from their ears, open up their eyes, and they can see it. There is no mystery. There is nothing to do with espionage. I know that espionage intelligence gathering looks more romantic. It sells more deodorants through the advertising, probably. That's why your Hollywood producers are so crazy about James Bond type of thrillers. But in reality, the main emphasis of the KGB is not in the area of intelligence at all. According to my opinion and opinion of many defectors of my caliber, only about 15% of time, money, and manpower is spent on espionage as such. The other 85% is a slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced.
Nick, that's a hilarious suggestion. Because there's no better time in America to live out the dream you actually want to live than right now. The longer you wait, the harder it gets because the price of things keep going up, Nick. And I appreciate your comment, but that's crazy. That's crazy because under Trump, your dollar's going to be worth a lot more than it was under Biden, regardless of which side of the aisle you're on. So you're going to have a higher chance of actually being able to take that risk that you always wanted to take. You might have to take matters into your own hands, though, and you might not be able to work for somebody.
balanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The result you can see. Most of the people who graduated in the 60s, dropouts or half-baked intellectuals, are now occupying the positions of power in the government, civil service, business, mass media, educational system. You are stuck with them. You cannot get rid of them. They are contaminated. They are programmed to think and react to certain stimuli in a certain pattern. You cannot change their mind, even if you expose them to authentic information, even if you prove that white is white and black is black. You still cannot change the basic perception and the logic of behavior. In other words, these people, the process of demoralization is complete and irreversible. To get rid society of these people, you need another 20 or 15 years to educate a new generation of patriotically minded and common sense people who would be acting in favor and in the interests of the United States society.
And yet these people who've been programmed and, as you say, in place and who are favorable to an opening with the Soviet concept, these are the very people who would be marked for extermination in this country?
Most of them, yes. Simply because the psychological shock when they will see in future what the beautiful society of equality and social justice means in practice, obviously they will revolt. They will be very unhappy, frustrated people. And the Marxist-Leninist regime does not tolerate these people. Obviously they will join the links of dissenters, dissidents. Unlike in present United States, there will be no place for dissent in future Marxist-Leninist America. Here you can get popular like Daniel Ellsberg and filthy rich like Jane Fonda for being dissident, for criticizing your Pentagon. In future, these people will be simply squashed like cockroaches. Nobody is going to pay them nothing for their beautiful, noble ideas of equality. This they don't understand, and it will be greatest shock for them, of course. The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already. For the last 25 years. Actually, it's overfulfilled because demoralization now reaches such areas where previously not even Comrade Andropov and all his experts would even dream of such a tremendous success. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans, thanks to lack of moral standards. As I mentioned before, exposure to true information does not matter anymore. A person who was demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him. Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it until he is going to receive a kick in his fat bottom. When a military boot crashes his, then he will understand, but not before that. That's the tragic of the situation of demoralization. So basically America is stuck with demoralization, and unless, even if you start right now, here, this minute, you start educating new generation of Americans, it will still take you 15 to 20 years to turn the tide of ideological perception of reality back to normalcy and patriotism. The next stage is destabilization. This time, subverter does not care about your ideas and the patterns of your consumption, whether you eat junk food and get...
Let's look at how many views this has. Surprising that it has that many views, because you'd think that something like this, man, they would want to hide this, right? Oh, wow. So you'll find that, you know, Americans don't, like, we as Americans, like, I'm an American too. I don't know if you see my American flag in the back. I'm not just posing. But we as Americans, we like to write off KGB. We're kind of scared of it. We're like, it's the commies. We shouldn't hear them out. Shouldn't even hear what they have to say. But That's exactly what we're programmed to think. What you're not realizing is that's one of the triggers that we're programmed with, and one of the reasons that we don't want to hear out the facts. So we actually, I mean, I see a viewer right now. There's a viewer that keeps entering and leaving when he hears and sees certain things. I mean, I just, it's something I recognize. It's not, it's not going to change anything I'm doing here, but it's just, it's interesting. It's true. When a child is afraid of the dark, we shame them. True shame is when an adult is afraid of the light, and that's very true. What we got to do is you know, I think this movement, I don't think it'll happen, unless we can actually look at this KGB stuff. And the only way we can get people to look at it is in person. Huh. Can't even trace it back to ancient times. I'm just reading some comments here. I think I'm gonna end the stream here. I think we've looked at enough fucked up shit. I think we've commented on enough fucked up shit, fucked up parts of society that the world doesn't want. We don't want the world to see about the United States of America. I think we've looked at enough of that, right? We can end the stream here. Appreciate anybody who watched. I appreciate the guy who kept joining. I think Nick was awesome.